kids!
Heya!
Heya! How are you,
We're back
Tom?
again. I'm good. How are you, Anya?
I'm good. Yeah, we're back. Sorry, I got a bit carried away there.
That's
We're
fine. You're
back
curious about
again
me, and I get that.
for another episode of What Adults Don't Tell You Before You Adult.
Now,
Yeah.
brought to you by Long Shot.
Woo.
And last week, Anya, you gave me some flack for
Why don't you be flack?
not drinking out of a glass.
Oh.
So do you know what I've done this time, Anya?
He's only gone and got one.
I got a glass.
Is he peeing or is he pouring? We'll never know. No, I'm joking. He is pouring.
Is he peeing or is he pouring? But I also have
That
a
would make
straw.
a great feature. Okay, the straw I think gives it away that you are pouring. What are you pouring? Obviously.
I am pouring Long Shot strawberry and rhubarb flavour.
Very
And it's
nice.
delicious. And we'll talk about that more later in the show.
Yes. So, Tom, I'll ask you
Fine.
again. I want more of an in-depth, kind of answer to this. Not just a yeah, I'm fine, because, that's what friends say. Yeah, I'm fine. But best buds, they tell
Best
the truth.
buds! You
So
think I'm going through something? And do you think I need help? Is that what you're giving me?
Well, you're wearing a shirt today, which is slightly concerning.
Is
that
it
you're-
weird?
You're not
Is it
wearing
weird to see me in a
like
shirt?
Looney Tunes t-shirt.
Does it feel strange when I'm dressed like an adult?
Yeah, because it's like it's a school day for you tomorrow, so I'm not really sure why you're dressed as an adult before bed.
Well, I had fun today. I went to This is what I wear to bed. This is my bed attire. Where I wear a shirt. No, I went to a fancy place today, and they were like, smart casual was like, that means no Looney Tunes t-shirts. I'm gonna chuck on a shirt.
Very good choice.
Now in a shirt.
But you did tell me before we started recording that you had a nap before the
I
recording.
did.
So you napped in your shirt.
I napped in a shirt. Yes, I napped in my shirt.
That's just so wrong. That's as wrong as wearing like jeans to the cinema.
You'll
or jeans
never
on a
guess
car
what I was wearing on
journey.
my bottom.
Oh no, you didn't nap in jeans and a shirt, did
I
you?
napped in jeans and a shirt.
Jesus, how tired were you? How difficult was this date?
Oh, oh, don't let me get started. It was so stressful. And I had a brookie.
A brookie?
Mm,
What's a brookie?
a brownie cookie.
Okay, that's slang that I didn't know.
That's
feel-
slang.
I feel quite
That's what all
old.
the cool
I feel
kids are
like
singing down.
you've made me feel quite old there. How dare you?
Oh, Anya, you are quite old, to be honest. How old are you turning this year?
Why do we have to bring this up in every single podcast episode? We're not even going there today. If you want to
But-
know my age, go back and listen to another episode, alright?
But Anya, how are you today?
I'm good. I went to a flower market
Mm.
in London and I bought 2 new houseplants. So,
2?
yeah, I am an adult, but then you also have to remember that I name my houseplants. So I feel like
That's
it brings
weird.
it down to a good level.
That's
you know.
weird. We have some houseplants we haven't named.
See, I started it off. Now I honestly own like 12. I've got 12 plants in this one room, although you can't see it in the YouTube that well. Some are up there, some are behind the curtain.
You
blah,
have
blah.
some, and that's nice.
Yeah, but I started off naming them and I was like, I can't just give some names and some not. That's just rude.
Yeah.
And now because I've got 15 of them, it's like I've got a whole classroom full of plants. And
Do you say good morning to them all?
go around to each one, make sure they're doing alright, getting on with their day. No, joking.
Baz, how are you?
How are you doing, buddy? That's a good name, actually. Baz, was it? Baz. I quite like that because I've got 2 to name now. So I might name one of them Baz. But anyway,
Nice.
I had a great day. Yeah, feeling good, feeling perky, feeling
Yeah.
ready to get into this episode. But before
Yeah.
we get into the episode, Tom, we start off every episode of What Adults Don't Tell You Before You Adult with an I'm an adult but. And if you don't know what it is, essentially it's something that me and Tom have done recently that is not very adult to make us remember and to allow you guys to kind of sympathise with us and relate to us, okay? That we might be over the age of 18 or 21 if you're in the US, but we are all still, plodding along, trying to figure out what this whole adult malarkey is about. And Tom, I want to know, what is your I am an adult but for this week, please?
So my this is a good. I think you're going to enjoy this one. So I went out for some drinks with a few friends.
Mm-hmm.
That lasted way too long,
Okay.
and we left at around 3:34 in the morning.
God, was that clubbing vibes then?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. It was clubbing vibes, and I was just like, oh, why am I here so late? And then I go outside and I book an Uber.
Mm-hmm.
And the Uber driver pulls up just around the corner from me. I'm like, oh, that's annoying. So I walked up towards around the corner, and there was a woman in a doorway just waving to me. And there was a sign above her that said massages, and it was flashing. And I was like, what does she want?
Sketch.
I'm like half car. I don't really know what's going on. So I go over to him like, oh, hey, what's up? Is everything okay? She goes, yeah, do you want a massage? And I'm like, oh, no, not really. I kind of want to go home. My cab's booked. And I was getting really confused of why she was talking to me because I don't talk to anyone. And she's just there going, yeah, come in. It's good price, blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, I'm fine. My Uber is actually there. And like my phone's now vibrating. And then I leave her. I'm like, I've got to go get my Uber. I'm sorry, lady. I've got to go.
Got a place to be, people to see.
As I leave her, a policeman approaches me.
Oh.
And I go, oh, why do I have to not talk to someone else? Hi. How can I help? He goes, what are you doing talking to her? I was like, I don't know. She called me over. I just want to go home. I've been awake for so many hours. I need to be up in about 6 hours. She waved me over, and I thought she might have seen something about my cab. I don't really know what's going on. And he goes, okay. And then he said a really good question, made me look like an absolute idiot. He goes, how many massage parlours are open at 4 a.m.?
Oh.
Well, I don't know. Some.
I don't look on TripAdvisor and see what time they stay open for.
I don't know if they've just opened. They might be doing the 6 a.m. rush.
Plus, also, I feel like that's a very good question to ask. But I do think that if that's the case, and he's basically alluding to the fact that that woman is a bit sketchy and a bit dodgy, and why are you going over there? You should know better. But surely, like, no.
You should go to her.
Yeah, I think
wave her down.
You're the victim in this sense because she's the one that. I mean, you must have looked quite vulnerable, but she
I always look vulnerable.
She waved you over. She's like enticing you in, right? So she should be the one that's like getting the questions. I don't know. I think that's a bit sexist, actually.
I was just like, why am I getting questioned right now?
So
Two people want to talk to me. My Uber driver's still waiting for me.
3 people want to talk to you because the Uber driver wants you to get in.
And I just want to go home and go to sleep.
So wait, how did you leave it then? When he asked you that question, or did you?
I said I don't know. I'm just trying to get my Uber home, and he said, "Okay, get home safe." And I said, "Thank you, thank you."
Thanks, officer.
And I got into my Uber, and he was like, "Oh, what was that all about?" I don't know.
No,
so now my Uber driver probably gave me an awful rating because he was like, "Oh, this guy's a bit sketchy."
Bit sketchy. Yeah, that's true, actually. I'm not sure I'd feel comfortable taking someone in my car that... I mean, I'm not an Uber driver. I've never been a taxi driver. But I'd feel a bit awkward taking someone in my car who has just been pulled over by the police.
I was so annoyed. I respect him. He's doing his job. I'm more annoyed at her for calling me over than getting me into this predicament. I was like, please just let me go home. Let me go home.
That is not the one. Oh, bless you, Tom. So
thanks, Anya. But anyway, Anya.
Anyway, Tom.
What is your I'm out that butt for this week?
Mine's not as like unique as yours, but I think it's something that I was gonna say something that a lot of people have done. I hope that a lot of people have been there.
Let's see.
So I was making lunch, as you do, pottering about.
I've done that. I can relate to that one.
Exactly. The end. No joking.
But I made my own lunch. I'm so sorry, guys.
I lost my phone for like a good hour. I'm looking around for my phone everywhere. Where have I put my phone? I'm that person that's like, you get somewhere or like you leave a restaurant. I'm like, oh, where's my phone? Really annoying trait of mine. Anyway, can't find my phone. I'm like, it's in the house somewhere. I haven't left the house today. I just gave up looking for my phone. I was like, no one's in to call my phone for me. I don't have a landline at my new house. It will turn up eventually. I'm not worried. It's just a bit inconvenient. Anyway, later on, go to make a cup of tea, open the fridge, and there my phone is on the fridge shelf. And I'm just like, why am I this person? Why did I put my phone in the fridge? I think I must have put it in there when, I don't know, I was getting too much stuff out of the fridge. So I put my phone down there just to like balance. So I couldn't hold it all. Oh, nightmare, Tom. My phone was freezing and I was slightly worried because it's 4 years old this year. It's done well. And I was I'm trying to kill it off, clearly.
My mum did something similar once where... I guess she was coming in with some groceries and the postman stopped and was like, oh, here's your post. And so her hands were full. And the next day, I went and got something out of the fridge and one of my letters. I very rarely get letters. One of my letters were in the fridge, and I was like, "What is this?" But,
keeping it nice and cool.
keeping it cool for the next day. Keeping it fresh.
Keeping it fresh.
It's like,
exactly.
Mom,
I'm
I've needed this.
Just trying to keep it fresh,
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm an adult, but I put my phone in the fridge.
Which is better than getting accosted by the police.
Yes, exactly. So who's really winning? This girl.
Nice. And you had lunch.
Exactly.
Fully winning. But Anya, this week we want to talk about universities.
Yay!
Because universities are coming back. Starting? What's the right time to approach this?
Yeah,
Universities are now starting again. And I think you're actually going to universities these days. I think they're now doing courses back face to face.
Yeah.
Which is very exciting.
It depends on what uni you go to. And also, I think that for some unis, I mean, this is what I've just heard on the grapevine. Some unis you can pick and choose like what lectures you wanna
go to.
Well, I mean, well, yeah, you can always pick and choose, Tom. It's a choice. I mean, universities they're not free. They're very expensive. Even though you don't feel like it's expensive until you finish uni, and then it starts coming out of your paycheck and you're like, oh God, why?
But not enough comes out of your paycheck. That's the issue.
Yeah, it's just a little bit here and there. It's like
£200 here.
Yeah, I did do that.
£200 here, and then the inflation is like, oh well.
Yeah.
£600 this month. I was like, why?
Bit annoying. Anyway, I've heard on the grapevine that some lectures are like online, so you can go in / you could just watch them online, and I think some you definitely do have to go into. Some are just going to be online this year, so I think it's going to be like a mixed bag of different ways to do lectures. But the main thing is that the majority of unis are doing at least some of their lectures in class, which is so nice and refreshing. But I can also imagine it being absolutely terrifying, because all the people that you've been online with for the last year you finally have to meet. And I can just imagine it's just, I don't know. Like, I wasn't a big gamer, right? But I did like Club Penguin. And I can imagine, like, meeting the people that I hung out with on Club Penguin in real life.
Did you hang out with people on Club Penguin?
Always. Yeah, Club Penguin was a vibe.
I never really played Club Penguin.
You missed out, Tom. Big time missed out.
But what I have heard is it's just paedophiles on Club Penguin.
Okay, right. We did not need to bring the vibe there.
So I think it's best that you didn't meet up with them.
Probably, but I can imagine if you did, like, or like in a, I guess, chat room is like
that type of
as well.
thing.
But yeah, when you meet people in real life, it's just a bit like, or if you bring it into more adult life, being like working online, having Zoom meetings online, because a few of my friends have started new jobs during the pandemic, and they've all been doing online virtual stuff, and then having to meet those people in real life is a bit like, oh. And a lot of the time, people have said things like, meeting people in real life, you don't see their mannerisms on Zoom, and also you don't see their height on Zoom. So a lot of the time it's like, because you only see this like shoulders and head vibes.
When I do Zoom meetings, I stand.
No, you don't. But even
I don't do Zoom meetings.
Even if you did stand, Tom, even if you did do Zoom meetings, I don't think people realise how tall you are or how short you are. I don't know. Something to consider.
What I do, I stand next to a tape measure. The whole time doing a speech.
That could be a lie though, because this
it is a lie.
Could be a fake tape measure. Anyway, we're getting really into this. I think all of these things, if I was going to uni, I mean, I feel bad now. I don't want to stress you out if you are going to uni this year.
I'm stressed.
I think I'd feel a bit worried, like overthinking into these things. Like, I'm not even going to uni, I'm overthinking these things, you know? So I can only relate to these people in the best way I can by overthinking with them, which is a great way to start an episode, isn't it?
Empathetic panicking. Yeah, I love that.
Empathetic panicking. Yes.
That's what we should have called this podcast.
Oh, we still can. We haven't
get rid of what I was to tell you before you adult, but we're now changed to empathetic
I thought
panicking.
You meant the episode title. Empathetic panicking. Sure, why not? I mean, basically is. Anyway, Tom, on this episode as a whole, I'd like to go through with you not just first year, because first year is great, but I think a lot of attention is put onto first year.
There's a lot of attention put on first year.
Exactly, but I think it would be really nice to go from like first year, second year, third year, because a lot of the people that are listening to this, they might be starting uni, or they might be going to their second year or third year, or they might be looking, you know, as a graduate and relating to some of the stuff that we said, and you know, we can just have a nice little relate along together.
A relate along, that's what we should call this podcast.
Along. There's still time, Tom. There's still time.
Get rid of what adults are telling you before you adult. We're now the relate alongs.
Relate alongs.
Tom and Anya, relate alongs. Yes.
We like that. Maybe. I'll consider.
I won't.
So, Tom, what year do you want to start with? Do you want to go in chronological order?
Well, yes, because it would be absurd to start in third year.
Do you think? Like, work backwards?
Don't do that. Do third, then first, then second.
Yeah. Oh, no. No. I thought you said third, then second, then first. Fine, we'll go with first year, because why not? I feel like that's most of the people that are listening to this. Maybe I'm generalising. But
maybe you are generalising.
There's a lot to say about first year, but I think that's because people talk about it a lot. I don't know. What do you think about first year, Tom?
I thought first year for us was quite different. So first year for us was fine. I got told anyway, very early on, that first year grades didn't actually amount to anything. So our first year grade didn't matter. As long as you didn't fail, you'd be moving into the second year. None of the credits would carry over. So it was like, there wasn't much pressure, and which is good. It's the right approach to take for university for first year. So you're not there going, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. Am I doing everything wrong? Am I failing? Do I know what to keep up with? Can I do second year? Will I be good enough for second year? You don't need that. It was just a whole, just go to university, have fun, learn the course, make some friends, do that stuff. And for me, that was great. However, halfway through our degree, so Anya and I did the same degree, they cancelled it. So the year after us wouldn't do it anymore. And that was a big red flag for me.
The placement, yeah.
No, so you know how we were the last year of our course?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's then made me panic of why that was. And then I got really into my head about, should I be wasting my time with this course?
Yeah.
And then that kind of put a spin on my first year for a bit of a negative way. But then also I was already started and I was already fairly settled in. So I was like, oh, carry on.
Yeah.
How did you... So you found out at the same time I found out, obviously, because I'd be absurd if I found out first. So we found out at the same time that our course was stopping after our year.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
I didn't really think much into it. I was just enjoying the course and enjoying being at university. I don't know, for me, like, going to university, as much as it was like getting a degree and like that opens career doors, at the time, very much in like first year and second year, because 3 years is such a long time, I don't know, I wasn't really thinking of like the end goal. I wasn't thinking of the end game that much. I was kind of just in the moment and thinking about being a student and everything that comes with being a student. So, you know, like, even all of the bad bits that probably just make it, like not having any money, like literally living like month to month or like day to day, like with like a £10 limit, and like you just have enough money to like get into the club and buy a VK, you know, and then you'd struggle to like, I don't know, eat the rest of your freezer food the next morning. I don't know. So I was just more wrapped up in that. And I think that's something that people should consider when they go to uni, is like, okay, yeah, 3 years is a long time, and you know, like, it's gonna take a while to get through it, but you're there for a reason, so you should consider like what's gonna happen afterwards and think more in depth about it. But
so you think people should think more future than they do?
I don't know, but then a lot of things can change, and you know, things happen at uni. You go on your placement, or like me and Tom didn't even have a year-long placement because of the reason, which is boring to get into, but essentially our course didn't have a...
Well, I just explained.
Exactly. So, yeah, I guess you can just kind of follow along with it.
So do you think... So you got into a relationship in your first year?
Yeah.
Do you think that helped or hindered you?
Hindered me.
Hindered you because you were paying more attention to him rather than your grades?
Yeah. 100. Well, no, not because of my grades, sorry. It hindered me in the sense that because I was with him and very much in the honeymoon stage and like really happy with him, and I was like content in my own little bubble with him, like my own little world, like I had blinkers on, I wasn't thinking about anybody else. I started off uni, got to know him, and only got to know him,
Right.
which meant that like when everyone was like having that moment of like finding their friends and finding their groups and putting in the effort before people form cliques and groups of friends together, it's probably like the easiest time to make friends at uni because everyone's so open about it because no one has many friends there. I just kind of like cut myself off from it because I was focused on this one person, which definitely hindered me. I don't think it hindered me in terms of my grades. I'm very much a focused person when it comes to work, and I prioritize my work alongside prioritizing a relationship. I'm very, I don't know, centered about that. But yeah, how do you feel about love and uni and being with someone, and especially I think in first year it probably makes the most impact.
Yeah, so for me it was different for my relationship because she was still at home. So we were doing that long distance thing, which was quite difficult in your first year.
Yeah.
And then not at university. It's like, oh, okay, this is a bit of a weird jump. And because she was doing her own thing, she couldn't come down every weekend.
Yeah.
And so we had to like plan when she'd come down. And that's kind of a bit of a bummer when the person that you want to spend with the most time, because we'd only been together now for about 6 months, if that, before starting university.
And also, just making a point at where you are in your lives, you've both just been at home this whole time. You're newly adults, right? Newly turned 18, have all of this like new freedoms. Yeah. So actually having a relationship where you have to travel to them, it brings a new sense of like maturity to the relationship and also commitment to the relationship, because you're not just going around to your girlfriend's house who lives down the road. You're having to go,
which is huge when you've only been dating for 6 months.
Yeah, and you're still very young and understanding relationships and understanding yourself. Like, I am a completely different person to who I was in my first year of uni. So
see, I want to say I wasn't. I'm not, but I probably am.
I think you are probably
I've got
the
to
same.
be.
You are the same.
I'd like to imagine that I haven't changed from university or from anything, but just due to how you do mature in different ways, I probably have changed from where I was in the first year.
Yeah,
but
I think so. Less like silly. Well,
less silly. You think I've become more serious?
I think people just
I've matured with age.
I do think it's just that maturity where don't know, just less goofy, less naive. Also,
I'll take less goofy any day.
Yeah. That doesn't make you less fun, Tom. You still have a toy duck in your background. Let's not ignore that.
That's a dodo.
Sorry, Tom.
First of all, Anya. And he's next to my banana lamp.
Exactly.
And my dead rose.
Oh, nice. Giving me like Beauty and the Beast vibes there.
That's what I was going for. So university and love life is a bit difficult in first year because loads of people that I know get into their relationship in the first year because they start living with someone and spend all their time with that person, and then instantly they're boyfriend and girlfriend from first year.
Sorry, who are you talking about? I don't know who that is.
Oh, I said lots of people I know, Anya. I said lots of people.
Sorry, I thought you were just talking about me.
No, I have other friends, and I had to punch my mic in such rear anger. Rear anger is not what I think it is. I don't know what rear anger is, but it's something you don't want to be near, I guess. But lots of people get into relationships, and I didn't really have that. When people started like locking down and simmering down with people, I was like, my girlfriend is 2 hours north. So it was a bit different, and she obviously couldn't come down every weekend, so I'd see her maybe every other month or so. And that's a strain on a new relationship.
Definitely. And also because you're having to make friends and stuff, it's like you're trying to figure out your new life, but she's also trying to figure out your new life, but you don't have your new life like cemented in yet. It's still kind of like, settling down. I asked hand actions. I asked Ellie, my housemate, how she found first year, because I wanted to get a perspective from somebody she was in and out of relationships throughout uni, whilst me and you were in like relationships from like the get-go, right? Well, I found Alex at uni, but it was like within a week. We lived together. On my first day of moving in, he was there, so I feel like it's a little bit
and we're like, he's the one.
He's staying with me. I've locked him in.
Weird approach.
still here. It's like, it worked.
Get
Anyway,
gone.
she said that she started uni the same way as you. She'd been in a relationship for a bit longer. She'd been in her relationship for a year, and she actually
come on, Ellie, back off.
she broke up with him after a month of uni, and wishes that she had broken up with him before uni because she felt like he was holding her back, and that having to like prioritize bringing him into her new life whilst also trying to figure out her new life was too much of a burden. And she felt like she had to always think about him when she was on a night out, like, who do I go up and talk to, who do I not, like, it's not flirting. But I feel like Freshers has that kind of like flirtatious nature where like everyone's young and free and woo, let's just do anything, and like, I don't know, that classic like, I don't know, spontaneous Freshers feeling.
We'll go with spontaneous Freshers feeling.
So she felt like she wished that somebody had told her to end the relationship before she went to uni. And I do hear that flying about a lot.
But that seems
you
rough.
Disagree because you stayed
because I
with
didn't do that,
and you didn't, and you're still with her. So
I look like the chump.
well, no, because it worked for you. That's the same with me. Like, people told me, don't get with somebody that you live with, and people still say that to this day. If you've got housemates, don't get with them. But you know, we defied the odds, Tom. Sometimes it does work.
It's driving out here. But yeah, I don't disagree per se. Like I think it'd be awful to break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend just because you're like, oh, I don't really know what's going to be happening in the next few weeks. I don't really know what my life's going to be like. I can't really put that burden on you. So I think it'd be absurd to break up on the off chance that you get better.
Yeah, I think that if you feel like someone is holding you back, then I think that's when you know that it's not working.
Yeah.
And it is your experience. It's not their experience. And it's not...
Get their own experience?
It's not
figure it out?
yours, as in like yours and that person. It's not shared. Like, you're on a journey on your own. They're doing their thing, you're doing your thing. Even if you're at the same university, you're probably on different courses. You probably live separately, most likely anyway. And I think you have to be accepting of that. And if
I will never be accepting. Ever.
If you feel like they're holding you back, then I don't think that they're being considerate enough. And maybe you shouldn't be in a relationship with them.
Yeah, 100%. If you feel like they're holding you back, then you chop.
Yeah. Yes.
Chop. Yeah.
What else about first year, Tom? Do you have one?
You go first. You rocking this. You're rocking this. You go for it.
Okay, cool. So I was gonna say that I thought I would go to uni and I would fall into place with friends because everyone's like, oh yeah, you know, everyone's in the same boat. It's new to everyone. No one's done first year of uni before. No one has any friends. You'll find friends really quickly. Just make sure you go to Freshers. But it just doesn't happen that way. And I have a theory that it's probably because you grow up in the same... Most people have like a very... not similar. Most people have an upbringing that's kind of just in one place, or if you move to another place, it's usually like close by and you're still with your family and you still keep in touch with your old friends, so you have kind of like this... Most people, not all people, have this like one tone of like cultural upbringing, and then I think you go into a new place that has so many different cultures piled into one, and so many different upbringings, and so many different morals, and so many different type of people, and you're all in this kind of like pick and mix bag, and you're in a sea of people, and it's so hard to find people that have that same background as you, and also understand you and gel with you. And I found that really difficult because I also thought that I would turn up to my uni course, and because I'm on the same uni course and because I have the same interest with them in this particular thing, that we would be the same type of person. Because when you do your A-levels and you're with that one set group, I don't know, I felt like I got on with quite a few of them. So for our
group, again, our group's slightly different because there was 10 of us.
Yeah, so it's less people to choose from. But again, I have done my research for this episode, and I have spoken to a few of my friends who obviously had like different experiences of uni, and they said the same thing, that, you know, they thought they would turn up and be able to like make friends really quickly, because you do hear the same advice, like, no one has any friends, like, you'll find friends because everyone's in the same boat as you. And that's true, everyone's in the same boat, but not when you're not all the same type of people. Which
I
found
managed to
really hard.
find one friend quite quick and quite early.
Yeah.
And then from there, that was fine. I always had someone to sit next to. That was my game plan, was find one person. One person could lead to 2 people. If they don't, still got one person. Fine. That's essentially how my life works, is cling on to one, and then hopefully cling on to 2. And then 2 may introduce
Not
you
creepy
to 4.
at all.
So then it like, expands. But,
Got a clinger on
that's
over
what
here.
I'm a bit of a clinger. It's fine. So I got one friend, and I was like, because that was my big fear, especially with the media-based course like we did. There's going to be paired work.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that.
And with paired work, it's so embarrassing when you don't have anyone to be paired up with.
Oh, I feel like you're bringing panicking here. Now we need to empathise with people that are starting school or uni or something.
It's all going to go bad. There's going to be fires. Hell's going to break loose.
Paired work and group work, and that's panic.
Don't be like Anya being the left to be picked.
That wasn't very nice, was it, Tom? I can't even remember if that's true, because
I
I
don't
blocked
think
it
it
out of
was.
my mind.
I don't think it was true, but that's fine, because you're a bit of a swot, and everyone wanted to be in a pair with you because you did a lot of work.
Well, I'm a goody two-shoes.
You are, that's the issue. But I spent my time with this kid who wasn't great.
Yeah, we should have made friends with me, but you didn't.
That's what third year's for. Don't ruin the ending of this podcast.
Okay. I'll let you finish. You're drinking a long shot. How is it, by the way?
It's delicious. You had the strawberry and rhubarb last week.
I did.
I didn't. I had the blackcurrant one, and this, beautiful. It's lighter.
Lighter?
Lighter.
In what way is it lighter?
As in, like, taste-wise, strawberry's a bit of a lighter taste than the berries are.
Okay, so would you say that's your favourite one so far?
Ooh, no, I prefer berries to strawberries. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
you?
But rhubarb's got that nice little tart hit but at the back.
Yeah. But
So
I think...
Oh.
I think... So I've tried the strawberry rhubarb one, and I've tried the berries one as well. I'm still yet to try the grapefruit, but we're getting there.
We are getting there. Baby steps.
But I think overall, what surprises me the most is how light they are in general. Because you were just saying there that the strawberry one's lighter. But even the blackcurrant one is really good because it's light. Yeah. And like not as sugary, because that's the thing. Sometimes I go out and I have cocktail after cocktail. Just sometimes, Tom. Not all the time. You know,
To
when
4 a.m. get accosted by the police? Absolutely not.
When I'm feeling a bit frisky, I venture outside. And usually my go-to is like a cocktail or like a fruity wine. But they're so sugary. And I almost like after like the third, I'm like, oh, I just feel a bit ill by this. But these ones are so light because the flavour is just, it's more like it's not too overpowering.
It's a subtle note.
It's a subtle note, exactly.
I've been watching
I quite
those,
like.
Those sommeliers telling me how to speak.
Sommeliers. Yes, no, it's very good. Definitely go and try one if you haven't already, because I'm quite new to hard seltzers. That's the actual name for this. So hard seltzer. So it's like alcohol, flavouring, and like these ones with long shot are natural flavouring. So it's amazing. And alcohol, which is the fun part. And soda.
Which is the fun part, and it's delicious. Only drink if you're over 18 in the UK.
Of course.
Or 21 in America. Do get them in. They are delicious. They will work great at a barbecue that Anya's throwing this weekend that I'm going to.
Do you know what? I was actually thinking, do I hand them out to people or do I save them myself? And I don't know really what to do. I feel like I've been put between a rock and a hard place, Tom.
Well, what you should do on the invite, just say, go to this link, buy these.
Long shot only. If you bring any other branding, get
out! You'll not be allowed in! We've got a bouncer on the door. But go to the link in our bio on Instagram and on Twitter, or the podcast description. Yeah. Is that what it's called, Anya? Is that what it's called? I work in podcasting.
I think it's like the editor's notes, right?
Sure.
The podcast
description sounds better.
Podcast description, editor's notes.
But it'll be in there. So if you're on your phone, go to that link. Get yourself some long shots because they are delicious. But the last thing that I struggled with in the first year is very quickly you start panicking. I'm only talking about the doom and gloom here. There are good things of university. I loved university. But there are doom and glooms of university. And one of them is as soon as you're comfortable at university, bang, you got to start looking for a new house, son. You got to start panicking about where you're going to live in the second year, who you're going to be living with. It's scary at a sudden. Oh no, I haven't got the deposit money. This is scary all of a sudden. Oh, that's such stress. I hated that.
So basically what Tom's alluding to if you're starting university is, and I don't know why, it doesn't make sense to me still to this day, but you have to lock in your second year house within like the first semester of uni. If you don't have it by the end of the first semester of uni, then you're pretty much screwed. And it's almost like this unknown race to get a house. And if you leave it too late, then you're left with all of the rubbish houses on the market. But it's the worst thing because you've only known these people for like a month or 2 months maybe. And then you suddenly have to start organising who you're going to want to live with. And it's kind of like, okay, well, I've been hanging out with these guys. They seem okay. Like, they're my go-to people here. But do I want to live with them? Which is the stressful
I had
moment.
like, this is going to make me sound super popular, but that's not the way I wanted it to come across. I had 2 groups of people who wanted to live with me.
Very nice.
Or invited me to live with them.
Lucky
so. It was my housemates from halls.
Yeah.
And it was some people from the course. And I was like, oh no! Do I offend the people that I've lived with the past year and will be living for the rest of the year with? Or do I let down the people I'm doing my course with for the next 2 years? That was a stressful situation.
But the people that you're on a course with, you can see them every single day at the course, right? But the people,
that was my game plan.
Exactly. You live with the people that you live with in first year, right? Plus, you've already like trialed and tested them out for a couple of months.
I know they're not serial killers.
That's important.
That was my big takeaway.
Don't know. It's just quite scary. And
you need to learn who's a serial killer and who's not. But yeah, so I ended up living with people from uni. From uni. Obviously, people from uni. I lived with people from my halls because I thought, I don't want to see these people 24 hours of my day.
Yeah. Also,
I'll get bored of them. They'll get bored of me. They'll learn, Anya. They'll learn. They don't want to live with me. They don't want to spend time with me. I need third year people too.
Also, because if you don't live with the people that you currently live with and you're not on a course with them, then it's kind of like, well, when do you meet up and see them?
Yeah.
You don't want to lose
it's just
friends.
It's nice to get like a different texture of people.
Yeah.
People doing different courses.
I
learn
agree.
New people, learn new things, and it's so much better.
Just think about it. Also think about, would you want to live in a house of girls or would you want to live in a house of boys or a mixed house? Because one of my friends lived with a whole house of girls and some people loved that, but she said that it was quite catty. Now, I've never lived in a whole house full of girls until this last month, but it's been fine because I've known them forever, so they're fine.
That's slightly different.
But when they're girls that you've only known for like a month or so, I don't know. Like I'm talking on behalf of girls. I feel like everyone knows that we can be a bit catty sometimes, a bit scratchy, and I think that boys sometimes are a bit mellow.
But lazy.
A bit more mellow, but lazy. They don't do as much housework, which I also found out in my third year when I lived with just boys. Tom was one of them. Say hello, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Welcome to the group. Anyway, yes, think about it. And kind of like, I guess, vet people out in your head, like pros and cons, like why would they be good to live with? Why would they not? Just don't write it down and people find the list because that would be a bit...
don't let them see the list. That'd be awful. Yeah, so I didn't want to live with you because I actually hate you. How about that?
I live with you because sometimes you don't put deodorant on and it smells.
Because you don't like Aaron Carter. This is bizarre, isn't it? So then second year, I felt there was more panic. This is going to sound awful. There's more stress because your grades actually allude to something. So from that sense, everything got a bit worse. But you're living with people that you wanted to live with.
But don't you think in second year as a whole is like the most unspoken about year?
Second year is probably my favourite year.
Second year is like the middle child.
Did you like it or did you not like it?
I'm sorry if you're about to go into your second year. Like Tom said, he loved it. Second year for me was awful. It was the worst year by far.
Why?
Absolutely hated it. Would not do it again.
Why?
Just because I feel like first year you get all this hype, it's amazing, you love it, you have the best time ever, and then you come into second year and you expect it all to be the same, and it's not. And I feel like it's a bit of a come down. Well, for me it wasn't, and I think one of the reasons is because in first year you kind of have everything organised for you. You're almost a bit handheld. Like the university put on like 2 weeks of freshers, and you're in halls which is run by the uni, so they have like little special events on, and like during like your lectures and stuff, they like make an effort to make sure that everyone knows each other and plays icebreaker games and like bond. And then in second year it's kind of like, well, you know what you're doing, off you go into the world of uni, sort yourself out, and you're like, okay.
But I quite like that. So I'm not a big party goer, and
in second said the otherwise the other day,
but in second year there is no forceful, you have to go out, do this thing, you have to go out, meet these people, you have to do this.
I get that. It's
perspective. Like you've not necessarily outgrown the whole event, but you don't need to go to Wednesday night party every Wednesday because you've got stuff to do, or you're now happy to just drink at home or whatever like that. You don't have to do the Friday night out because you don't want to, and you've suddenly felt like there's a lot of first years around, so you don't have to go out so much.
Yeah.
And I quite like that. And then you realise you have more money to spend, and it all gets a bit better in second year.
Why do you have more money to spend in second
Because
year?
I'm not doing all the freshers events.
Right, okay, yeah, you're not spending money on booze.
However, you're now your houses are always further away from the party places.
Yeah.
So then you have to get cabs.
And also everyone kind of spreads out as well because people live in different areas of your uni town. So I don't know, you're just... for me, it was like you're dispersed from everyone, and I don't know, the camaraderie kind of left. It was almost just like everyone was like, oh, okay, freshers is over. Now what? And everyone just sits with the now what, like, don't know what happens now. It's kind of like no man's land. Like, no, this is uncharted territory that no one's really spoken about. It is though. Like when I thought of second year, I was like, I have no expectations. But first year, that's all anyone goes on about is first year and third year, because obviously that's like your final year. But second year, I do genuinely think it's about it's like like I said, the middle child in the family that kind of gets forgotten about.
Yeah, I get that.
But yeah,
I did enjoy it.
For me,
I had silly goof time.
Yeah, I think for me, it also a massive thing of uni, like throughout the whole years, is who you live with. And who you live with, literally, I do think it makes or breaks your time at university. Because if you have a fun house, you're guaranteed a great time every day kind of thing. But if you live in a house of people that you don't really get on with, then it can really leave a bad taste on your experience of that year. And my second year house was, I've said it before, like I lived with Alex and I enjoyed living with him.
Hated it.
And I lived with two other people that I don't not get on with, but they weren't my favourite people to live with. Sorry if you're listening to this podcast episode. You did nothing wrong.
Gosh.
But it's not like I even didn't get on with them. It's just that they weren't my besties, and we kind of like, they had their friends.
It wasn't your boyfriend.
Well, I did live with him as well.
Yeah.
They had their groups of friends. We didn't really hang out as a house that much. I don't know. It was just quite dispersed vibes. I think definitely if you're going into your second year or you're about to do first year and you're thinking about your second year, just make the most of it and try and build the camaraderie for yourself, because the university isn't going to do it for you this year. And just be aware of that you need to make the effort more. Hopefully by that time you've probably figured out who your friends are and who aren't your friends. Definitely feel like within first year you kind of get wrapped up in all the first year fun, and then you don't really have those real life experiences with those people yet, because you're living in the university bubble. So it takes like a good several months before you have those experiences with people that really test your friendship, and you can figure out whether they are going to be people that are going to look out for you, and also that you have the same morals with, you enjoy the same things. It's like dating, but friendship dating, you know?
Friend dating sounds awful.
What would that be?
Like speed friending. It sounds awful.
Freighting.
So third year... Rating's awful. Third year, I liked third year. There was a lot more stress though. That was a bit of an issue, because it's that push to, I also lost a lot of motivation in third year.
Really?
I was so close to the end, and I was like, I just kind of want to be out there in the working world at this point.
No way.
I fully lost my motive to do work. I was just like, I'm done.
I was the opposite. I was like,
But that's because you're a nerd.
I enjoy the academic work.
Because you're
scared.
a nerd.
I was worried for it to be finished, and I didn't know what like real world work looked like because we didn't have a year-long placement. We did, I think, probably like 4 weeks in total, right? So I don't think you really get a big enough picture. Maybe if you've done a placement year, you might yearn for that real life work and having like an income from your work as well. But no, I was really enjoying it.
Well, I lived with Anya in third year, so I was just like, I need to get out. I need working world, job, payment. I need to just be away from Anya. That was the end goal.
Third year for me was my favourite year, alongside first year, but for very different reasons. We've already explained why first year's fun. Everyone knows why first year's fun. Third year is just an unexpected year of fun. Even though it comes with responsibilities and you have that dissertation looming over your head, well, majority of people do that go to university, which is scary, I genuinely think that I made the most of it and had a great time. And you might disagree, but I love the house that we lived in third year. And maybe because I had such, no offense, I feel like I had such low expectations because I was living in a house of boys. It's the first time I've ever done that. I was really worried. All of my friends from my first and second year went off to do their placement year, and I was left in third year with people that I kind of semi-knew, didn't really know that well, and was living with them. And I kind of got that third year feeling all over again, where it's like, okay, I don't know what to expect.
First year feeling all over again.
First year feeling all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. I really liked it. I think because you think it's going to be really stressful, and it is, but because you know it's your last year, you just make the most out of it.
I just love that you had low expectations for living with us.
Look, right, if you were living in a
just
house of
disrespect.
all girls, I think you'd be a bit scared for your life.
Yeah, I would.
I was like...
would. But then you also knew the guys and were not ultra masculine.
No, but I was a bit like, am I going to be living in a tip?
Well, that's disrespectful. But
I didn't know.
You could have guessed that me wouldn't live in squalor.
I don't know. I mean, I'd never been in your bedroom before we lived together.
Wild statement, that. Wild statement.
I don't know if you've got a wardrobe or a floordrobe, Tom.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Exactly.
Sometimes both. Sometimes both.
Well.
But we cleaned the communal areas. Some of us cleaned the communal areas.
Some is the penultimate word.
I cleaned all the time, actually. But yeah, third year's a bit of a weird one because I think third year you find who your friends are. That's where you nail it down of who you want to spend the time with. But
also who you're going to make the effort with outside of uni.
Yeah.
And I think that's when it boils it down to like, okay, I definitely am going to be upset when we leave because you're not going to be you're not going to be in my day.
You're not going to be my friend anymore. You just break all ties with everyone as soon as
can't be friends with you anymore.
Sorry, we're not at
uni
anymore.
together.
Sorry. Sucks to suck.
Primary school vibes.
I still know some of my primary school friends.
Oh, that's good for you.
That's a subtle flex, that.
Right,
I have lots
whatever.
of friends only from every...
Thanks for making me feel like a loner.
It's okay, you're a bit of a nerd.
You're right. You kind of
I'm
understand.
a nerd.
No, the bit before that, you understand who your friends are because you're going to be upset when you leave university. You're not going to see them every day. And I think also that feeling of like, oh, in your head, you're not like every day like crossing off the calendar days, but every single month that goes by that you get closer to finishing, you're like, oh, I'm gonna miss this. So you just make the most of it. Also, I think you figure out like the best nights to go out.
I'm being doom and gloomster over here. You're being positive.
Well, you play good cop, bad cop vibes.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
And you start to just see first year students out a lot and you go, oh.
I was going to say this.
Was I like that? And they were like, yeah, let's go to this club. And like, oh no, was that me?
And also everyone in first year. I mean, you don't have to be this person. Don't feel peer pressure to drink. But I feel like going out in first year was like binge drinking central, you know? Whilst third year's a little bit more chill, there's less peer pressure to be drinking that much.
Yeah.
And I just remember being third year and looking at these freshers that were just gone. Like, you were going to have a bad day tomorrow and potentially the day after. Sorry. And you're just like, oh, God. But then I remember being in first year and looking at the third years. And even though there's only like a 2-3 year difference between you guys.
And they're so old.
You just go, so old. So old. Which makes me feel like an absolute grandma now. Being
I hope
like,
I'm not that boring
how
when I'm
many
in
years out
third
of
year.
uni?
Oh, no.
Crikey.
No. Have we been out of uni for the same time we were in uni now?
Oh, don't say that. I actually think so, yeah. Oh, that's really sad. I actually can't believe you just brought that up. Now everyone listening to this podcast is going to be like, why am I listening to these two old ancient people rabbiting on about their good old days, their heydays at uni?
To be fair, I'm 25 next year. But,
can't believe you. Outrageous.
I can believe me. But yeah, I really did like third year because you do feel that more grown up. And it's a nice feeling, and you're with your friends, and it.
Do you think you're a bit smug over the first years? I was like,
oh yeah, massively.
But also,
I also got annoyed by them.
But I also was slightly jealous. Like, oh, I wish I could go back and do it all over again. Except
I did
for second
get that.
year.
I was just like, oh, why is this first year screaming and shouting in the club? Shut up.
Justin Bieber.
It's like, come on.
Is it too late now to say
Shut up. Shut up. Where's your mum? That's how I got towards the end of third year. And I got bad. I aged rapidly when I was in a club and I saw a load of first years. Because they all also travelled together, and there would always be like the bad shirt nights and the white shirt nights. You'd be able to pick out who the freshers were. And like, oh.
Yeah. It's like turning up to the club night that was themed. And you'd actually turn up in the themed clothing.
It's like, oh, you don't have to do shorts and sunglasses. It's fine. It's winter. Get a hoodie on. Get your parka out.
Yes. Oh, good times. Good times.
I really did enjoy university, but everyone who's going, have fun. Very jealous.
Yeah.
Tell us which university you're going in our DMs we are AudioBox on Instagram and on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Just enjoy your time there. Especially if you're in first year, just enjoy your time there. Just don't
think about it too much. Just be in the moment. And have fun. Just enjoy it, because it goes, like, 3 years sounds like a long time. It goes so quickly. Like, I literally
time goes
feel like
so quickly.
Blinked.
Everything.
It's scary.
Anyway, I hate it.
Tom, I asked, this is like a nice note to leave on.
Okay.
So I asked you guys on our Instagram at We Are AudioBox, would you rather question? We like to end on these every episode. So I asked, would you rather have gone to uni or never gone to uni? And Tom, what would you have rathered? Remember, we went to the same uni together.
I said, wished I didn't.
Shut up! Why are you such a liar? That's not the truth.
We've just had this hour-long recording of how much I loved uni every year.
Are you reminiscing? Great. Am I bringing back the good vibes now?
And but you. I think in my career I am in now, I think I could have got here without university.
But would you have had the fun times?
I wouldn't have had the fun times.
No,
you're completely
exactly.
Right. But career progression, I could be further than I am now if I didn't do 3 years in university.
But
no, I know what you're gonna say. I did have fun.
Exactly.
But I could be on a better wage now. No
buts. Do it for the memories. You only get one chance really to do first year, second year, third year.
No, I know.
With alongside your peers, you know, because you could do first year, second year, third year older, but you're not gonna have the same experience. Like if I went to uni now, I think I'd be an outcast.
Because you're actually such an old 24-year-old.
Oh, you're just a little bit of a beep, aren't you?
Oh wow! It's real aggressive.
Right, Tom. I would say I would have rather gone to uni because you know I am an OG over here.
Because you're a nerd.
No.
Oh, great on Anya this episode.
Uni is just a good time, okay?
Wow, it sounds like we should be wrapping this up soon. But what did everyone say?
So 76% of my people
Your people. Okay.
said that they would rather have gone to uni.
Yeah.
And 24% of you guys said you'd
That's
rather...
a high percentage, to be fair. I thought it was
never
going to
gone to
just
uni.
be me.
But I wonder if those... how many? 20... Did I say 24?
You said 24%.
Wait, let me go back. 24%. I wonder if those 24% of people, like, the majority of them didn't go to uni, so they're just being spiteful.
They might have also just had a really, really bad experience.
Yeah, this is true.
Friend making's not easy for everyone. Course isn't always ideal for everyone. So yeah, it could be a plethora of issues. That's why the 24% didn't enjoy it. But hopefully
76% said they did. So
Well, hopefully the 24% are now doing better now that they've done with uni.
True. Or
are in a better place now going through uni. But do get in touch with us on our socials. That's Instagram and Twitter at We Are AudioBox. We are on the DMs, so send us some messages. Say hey, say loving the podcast. Tell us your I'm an Adult Butts from your week. We always share ours every week, but we want to know what yours are. Do you do embarrassing things, or is it just me and Anya being really bad at world life skills? That's my question for you guys. But do get in touch. Every week we do the poll, so get in touch with the poll. Vote for your ways. Hopefully you're backing me, because I hate when Anya and I agree.
Agree?
I just dislike agreeing. And
that's why I chose it then.
And like I said in the last episode, do we change the name of the Tune Squadders
Oh yeah.
after Space Jam 2 was so bad? Drop us a DM, say yes, change the name, no, keep the name. And if you want us to change the name, what should we change it to? There's another question for you. So what is your I'm an Adult Butt for this week? And what should we rename the Tune Squadders? And before we go, we'd like to say thank you to Longshot for sponsoring the whole season of Season 8 of What Adults Do Table For You Adult. Go buy their products. They're delicious. Go to the link in our bios. And thank you very much for sponsoring us. And we will be back next week for another great episode. We'll see you next week.
Bye, kids.
Bye-bye.